Hi, happy Friday. I would like to talk to you today about how your brain works and actually how life works, only we're never taught this. We don't get taught that our thoughts create our feelings. We actually get taught quite the opposite, not even just growing up, but through marketing and social media and advertising. So before I get off on a rant about that, let me tell you about life. Life gives us circumstances. Life gives us situations and events that we have no control over. Those circumstances could be the weather. It could be other people's behaviour. It could be equipment or cars breaking down. It could be money. It could be food and drink. It could be basically anything that's outside of your brain is a circumstance. Even your body, even your physical body, the size, the weight is a circumstance. Those circumstances are completely neutral. Now, what I mean by that is somebody else could experience exactly the same situation and have very different emotions about it. And the reason that happens is because it's not until our brain gets involved and we have thoughts that then we have an emotion. So it's our thoughts that create our feelings, not the circumstance. So let's take the circumstance of your body as an example. You have a human body. You are human. If you're listening to this, you're a human being. So you have a human body and it walks, it talks, it breathes, it heals itself, it gets rid of toxins. It does a huge amount of amazing things without us even thinking about it. Brilliant. And it's amazing, our bodies and our brains, amazing. But you'll have an opinion about your body. And depending on what that opinion is, will depend on how you feel about it. So, for example, you might be like a size 18. And you might think, oh, I'm too big. Or I'm overweight. Or I shouldn't be like it. And when you have those thoughts, you're going to feel something like shame, embarrassment, something along those sort of emotional lines. And then when we feel shame or embarrassment and just a general feeling of dislike for our body, we don't look after it. You don't look after the things you don't like. You look after the things you love. So it makes sense that if you're sort of disliking your body on some level, you're embarrassed about it, or you're a little bit ashamed about it, it makes sense that you're not looking after it and you're putting alcohol and sugar and caffeine and processed foods and continuously snacking all the toxins into your body. But that thought isn't a fact in the world, because someone that's maybe a size 25 would look at your size 18 and go, I would dream to be that small. I wish I was that size. So that's what I mean by neutral. Exactly the same circumstance, depending on your thoughts, create your feelings. And then how you feel will determine how you respond, how you react to that emotion, whether you avoid it, whether you respond to it and follow through, or whether you react and shout and scream. So that's how the world works. In the tiny, tiny little day-to-day moments and the life-altering significant moments, illness, bereavement, that type of thing. I think this is the best news, because in that point where you can't control the external circumstance, or maybe you can't change it instantly, then it feels like you can't change your emotions. If it's the circumstance that's creating your emotion and you can't change that, then it feels like you can't change your feelings, and then you feel really powerless. But actually, when we take full responsibility of the fact that it's my thoughts, is that dialogue that I hear in my head that creates my emotion, that is the best news ever, because I can control that. We can't stop those initial thoughts popping into our heads and popping into our minds, but whether we believe them is a choice. So if you've been following me for a while, you've probably heard me say that it's actually getting less now, but daily my dialogue is, oh, I'm not clever enough, I can't do that, I'm not clever enough, no one really wants to hear what I have to say, and generally I'm just not good enough. Those thoughts are always in my head. The difference is now I just don't believe them anymore. I'm like, yeah, I hear you, you don't think we can do it because we're not clever enough. And then I'm like, but what if that's not true? What if that statement isn't a fact? It isn't. But what if I was willing to consider that the opposite was true? So let's bring this back to your body, and let's imagine when the cake is in front of you and you're thinking, oh, I dislike my body on some level, I'm embarrassed by it. You're not going to look after it. You're going to think the cake is going to make you feel better. So that thought, it'll make me feel better, or it's a treat, it's a reward. It's that that's causing the urge to eat it. And at the moment, you're responding to that urge by eating it. You think it's going to make you feel better. You believe that it's a treat. So then you put those toxins into your body. And then you put on weight and you feel shit and irritable. That's not a treat. That's not making you feel better. And yet we don't actually think through that on a logical level in that moment. But none of those thoughts are true. It's not a treat. It's not a reward. And if you actually had some gratitude for your body, you might consider looking after it a bit better. I'm not saying that you should do any of this, by the way. I'm just telling you, you have a choice. There is another option. And that other option is starting to question that dialogue, starting to question those thoughts, and really asking, are they helping me? Like, even if it's true, even if we could prove that your thought was a fact, how is it helping you to think it? So I think the fact that it's our thoughts that create our emotions is the most amazing news, because I can manage and choose what I believe from my thoughts. At a point when I can't maybe control the other person's behaviour, I can't control the weather, I can't control my job, I can't control the situation, like the circumstance, I can always choose how I experience it. And that does not mean to say we should always be positive. There are some circumstances that I do not want to be happy about. There are some situations that I do not want to feel joyous around. So I choose in those moments to feel angry or frustrated or saddened or horrified. That is my choice. So you get to choose, you get to decide. It is the most phenomenal superhuman gift we have. You get to choose what thoughts you believe, the dialogue in your head, what you actually believe, what you want to believe, what will help you to believe. And practice that. Practice saying those new sentences to yourself. It'll feel odd to begin with, like anything else new. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. And if you need any help, I can help you. I can help you get control of your sugar cravings. I can help you to learn how to manage and experience and release your emotions rather than reacting to them, avoiding them, or responding to them. And it's so simple. So get in touch. If you're ready to change, if you're ready to invest in yourself and your health, and my goodness, your future self will thank you so much for that, get in touch, because I'd love to help you. Have an amazing week.